Let's start. Hi everyone, and welcome to another edition of Weekends with CarToq. Now, from Fridays with CarToq, it's become Weekend with CarToq because there are more of you who kind of come in on a Sunday. And so today we've got Jay Prashant joining us from Pune, and so Jay Prashant and I are going to be discussing the topics today. And the things that we're going to be discussing, let me just run you through what we're going to be discussing. We have a pretty interesting segment lined up. We've got today's discussions include the 7 hot cars to watch for in 2015, starting with the Hyundai iX25, the Maruti SX4 Cross, and the Maruti YBA compact SUV, and we'll talk a little more about this one. The Mahindra S101, which is a compact SUV from Mahindra, the Honda Jazz, a car that a lot of people are waiting for, the Ford Figo, and the Ford Figo sedan. So that's one of the things we're going to be discussing today. Besides that, we also have things like what to do when your car battery runs out. We're going to be talking about car care under car care tips. We're going to be talking about how to jumpstart your car, warning signs as to when your battery is going to run out, what to do if your alternator is overcharging your battery, and some other battery care tips. And then we'll also take a few questions and answers live. And then we also have another discussion, which is on the SUVs of 2014, SUVs of 2015, which include the new Audi Q7, the BMW X6, the facelifted Q3, and a whole lot more, which Jay Prashant will take you through as well. So with that, I think let's start off. JP, how's the weather there in Pune?
It was nice and balmy. I heard there's a little bit of rain in Delhi.
Delhi, we've got to, I think, one day talk about the pollution levels here and what we can do to control pollution. I mean, because it's like getting really foggy, smoggy, and the pollution is unbearable over here. Okay. So,
Air purifiers which were installed when Obama came is what I heard. So I think they should be making a difference, isn't it?
800 air purifiers. I mean, how much can an air purifier purify? I mean, probably a room, 2 rooms, 10 rooms, a building.
Right. I thought it's the industrial grade. Actually, it's purifying huge areas of Delhi. Now I realize it's just maybe where Obama was sitting, maybe a few square meters.
He probably had one under the sofa or something like that. Everywhere he was, So that's the thing. So let's get to the topic of the day. I thought let's just discuss the cars that are coming up. JP, what's your take on these cars?
Big launches. I mean, we have a few cars coming up in February itself. We have the i20 Cross, Elite Cross, which is coming up in February. That is a big launch. I mean, not in February. It's coming, I think, in March or April. In February, you have the Verna facelift, which is coming in. And end of the year, the later part of the year during the festive season, you are going to have the Hyundai iX25. This is a very hot vehicle. And in between, you will have the Maruti SX Cross. SX Cross. That is Maruti. Maruti is going to call it the S Cross. So this is coming out before the middle of the year. Apart from this, you also have the Bolero U301 compact SUV. It's a sub 4 meter a ladder frame chassis equipped compact SUV that will actually take on the likes of the Ford EcoSport and the Renault Duster. But this will be a proper ladder frame vehicle, which will be more rugged and almost maybe expedition ready. Maybe a hardtop version, instead of a hardtop version of the Thar, Mahindra's 301 Bolero to target the younger audience. And a very new segment will be created this year in the form of the S101 micro SUV. You have nothing before. So what Mahindra wants to do is it wants to target B segment hatchbacks. So I think we're looking at a price tag at somewhere, starting price of somewhere around 5 lakh rupees, where no SUV has gone before. That's the kind of, and it's a 6-seater. So this is something which is very interesting in terms of the SUV segment. Apart from that, you have plenty of luxury SUVs, which we'll get to it in just a bit.
Okay. Yeah. So let's just go through the S101. I think this will be playing very heavily on price, like you just mentioned. It would probably undersell a Ford EcoSport and probably be the entry level compact SUV in the market.
Yes, I think it should undersell Ford EcoSport, by quite a bit because see, first of all, Mahindra is it's a sub 4 meter product, and Mahindra is calling it a micro SUV. Okay, the Ford EcoSport is a compact SUV though it's sub 4 meters. Mahindra is S101 a micro SUV, and they say we are going to actually beat the hatchbacks with it, and we have a 6-seat configuration, 3+3, which is also another unique thing that no other SUV in India has ever seen. That's 3+3, three in the front,
Well,
three in the jeeps.
yeah, but 3+3, do you think it would be safe? I mean, look at, we're talking about the connected seats like in the Datsun Go. And do you think they'll be able to squeeze in a seatbelt for a center passenger and get that approved as well for the area?
I don't think actually it will come with seat belts. It will be more of a positioning trick rather than going out and actually targeting. I mean, getting approval from ARAI. So it could still have two seaters. I mean, two seat belts, but would have enough space to actually squeeze in three people. And you know how India works. I think there's going to be a fat chance that three people will be squeezed into that Mahindra, and at the front as well as at the rear. So that's what I betting on. That's why.
Any chance of a seven seat configuration like they did with the Quantum on this one?
I'm not sure whether a 7-seat configuration would be made available, but yeah, it is possible. But the test view so far, whatever we've seen, it's featuring a 3+3, that is a six seats configuration. And one more interesting aspect about this SUV is that it's got a 1.2 liter petrol engine. Another first for Mahindra. This engine has been developed jointly with SsangYong. They have a new engine family running, six new engines, three diesels and three petrols. Out of this, one petrol engine is coming in for the S101. So that's a very interesting aspect about this SUV. One more
Mhm.
interesting, and Mahindra is also going to bet on petrol engines because now, after diesel prices have been deregulated, it's been more like petrol engines are doing quite well. I mean,
Yeah.
petrol cars. Maruti, 69% of Maruti's numbers are coming from petrols. So a lot of, I mean, even the utility vehicle manufacturers are looking at petrol engines at their, entry level for the entry level products like the S101, and Tata
Mhm.
even come with the petrol engine. So
Yeah, but talking about petrol engines, if I recall correctly, Maruti isn't planning a petrol in the S Cross, if I'm right.
That's what the grapevine is suggesting. They are suggesting the 1.6 liter Fiat Multijet. Okay.
Mm.
Interestingly, the Fiat engine will be used on a Maruti first in India, and Fiat's not bringing it in, for its cars such as the Linea. So it'll be used in the Maruti first, and that's what the grapevine suggests that it'll be a diesel only. But if you look at Mr. R.C. Bhargava's statements over the last few months, he's always been saying that we are going to offer many fuel options across all new products, such as you're going to have LPG, CNG, petrol as well as diesel. So that's what R.C. Bhargava has been saying. Okay. In terms of that, I think Maruti is going to have plenty of fuel options even in the S Cross.
Right, right, okay. And okay, well, what about the YBA, the compact SUV? When do you expect that to come in?
Yeah, see, very late. I mean, it could be maybe previewed in 2015, but the launch I think will happen at the Auto Expo 2016. This is the major sub 4 meter compact SUV that India needs to watch out for because one, because it's a Maruti Suzuki, two, because it's Maruti's first budget offering in the compact SUV segment. The S Cross is going to be quite premium, but the YBA will not be the premium offering, but it will be more of an EcoSport competitor. So you will get a very competitive pricing as well. And this vehicle will use a 1.3 liter multi-jet turbo diesel engine, and perhaps the 1.2 liter K series also. The 1.3 multi-jet has been confirmed because we've spotted export consignments that has gone to Japan for some R&D. They have been featuring the 1.3 multi-jet. So this is what I
Mhm.
come up with this SUV.
Okay. And then another hot car coming up very soon is the Honda Jazz. How do you think that will fare in terms of pricing? Where will it position it?
First, Honda's, been talking about a lot of localization now. We've seen that pan out with the Honda Amaze. The City also has been I mean, heavily localized. Rio has been localized. And the Jazz, I think, will be also localized heavily. And with a lot of localization means a competitive price tag. I think the Jazz will sit in the segment where the Honda i20 Elites sits in right now. Okay, the premium space where the Polo GT, GT twins also operate. So the Jazz
Okay.
premium, but yeah, Honda will sell its versatility, its space. It's going to be a very spacious car. The Jazz has always been a versatile car with its magic seats, etc. So the
Mm.
next Jazz also will be quite versatile. And the other important change is it will have a diesel engine. This is something that the previous Jazz lacked, and because of that, Honda lost out some numbers. But this time around, we are going to have that. Coming in the Jazz, a diesel engine, the 1.5 liter ID tech. So that's going to be good for this week.
Okay. And, okay. For some reason, my screen was wonky. Okay. Uh, yeah. So coming to, I mean, then the other car that is there to watch out for, and which people are kind of quite enamored with, is the new Ford Figo and the Ford Figo sedan, which was showcased last year at the 2014 Auto Expo. So, what I mean, I think Ford's, of course, going to go with that.
Please, please, yeah. Come on, yeah. What is this? Yeah, I mean, this is my
Yeah, JP, we're back again. I think we had some bandwidth issues.
I think so. Yeah, and we were talking about the Figo twins, if you
Yeah.
remember. About the Figo twins, an interesting thing is the compact sedan is going to come first, and which will then be followed by the hatchback. The compact sedan will be coming in maybe in July, is what we've been hearing. The hatchback will come in during maybe September or October, maybe closer to the festive season. The thing about the compact sedan is it will replace the Ford Classic. Okay, I mean they're replacing a fun to drive car with one more car. I just hope they retain the whole fun to drive character even with the new compact sedan. And in terms of styling, it's very beautiful. We've of course seen it before the Auto Expo in concept form. In the production version is not very different from what we saw in the concept. So it's actually a very good looking car. So it's a nice change. That's one thing. Now, Ford hatchback, that is going to replace the Figo, the current Figo. It will get a 1.5 liter petrol or diesel engine, will be slightly detuned. The same engine the Fiesta and the EcoSport use will be detuned to 75 bhp and 100. I mean, maybe 190 nm. That's what we've been hearing. And in terms of a petrol engine, we're going to have a non-turbo version of the EcoBoost petrol that will do around 80 bhp, 105 newton meters. That's what we've been hearing about that. Uh, so this is pretty much with what Ford is going to do, and Ford is also bringing the Endeavour at the end of the year. But if Ford wants to become, a manufacturer that is not dependent on a single vehicle, that is the EcoSport, the Figo and the Figo Compact Sedan are extremely important models for the market.
Okay. So, just to move on to the next topic that we were discussing, uh, we've also got the 6 new luxury SUVs for India in 2015. I'm just going to mute your microphone for a second. I'm getting a lot of echo. Okay, so we've also got the 6 new luxury SUVs for India in 2015, starting with the Audi Q3 facelift, the Volvo XC90, as you can see on your screen, these two, followed by the Jeep Grand Cherokee, the Land Rover Discovery Sport, the BMW X6, and the X6M version as well, and the Audi Q7. Now, the Q7 has been spotted testing in Europe quite a bit, and we've brought you those pictures in the past, spy shots of them. So tell me, GP, this is something that you've been tracking. So
The Q7, first of all, to talk about the Q7 has been spotted numerous times in India as well. They're going to start out with the 3 liter TDI engine, the same engine which the outgoing model has. They will start with that, and the CKD assembly will happen at Aurangabad. The vehicle is a little smaller than the outgoing version. But Audi, I think, will do some intelligent space management to actually increase room on the inside. Second thing is it's a lot lighter because there's a lot of aluminum used in this platform. It's almost, I think, around 200 pounds to 400. I mean, 200 pounds lighter. That's almost 100 kilos lighter than the outgoing variant, and that's a big weight saving. Coming to the Q3 facelift. This is going to be a very minor facelift. Audi is doing it mainly to keep the vehicle current because now we have the Mercedes-Benz GLA, which is also a very good-looking car, and a lot of luxury SUV buyers, especially in the entry-level segment, they are looking at the GLA. So the Q3 facelift is coming mainly to actually compete with the GLA. Coming to the Volvo XC90, it's the second generation model of the vehicle, and it comes on the Volvo's SPA, that is the new architecture that Volvo's got. This is one thing, Volvo XC90. Apart from that, the vehicle looks much more stylish than the outgoing variant. The outgoing variant, if I could call it that, it looked a little bland and boring. But this has got Volvo's kinetic design, and it looks much more appealing. It will be a seven-seater luxury SUV, and it will be one of the, I think, the most value for money offerings in that segment because Volvo is known to price its car extremely competitively. That is about the Volvo XC90. Coming to the Jeep Grand Cherokee, now this vehicle will mark the American SUV brand's entry into India. I think we'll get a V8 petrol, a top-end V8 petrol with 5 liter V8 petrol, and also a 3 liter V6 diesel in this vehicle, and it will be brought in as a CBU. The other interesting Jeep that will come with this vehicle is the Wrangler. A lot of off-roaders who are well-heeled will like the Wrangler, I assume. Then we have the Land Rover Discovery Sport. This is a replacement to the Freelander 2. The Discovery Sport is once again lighter because it uses a lot of aluminum and steel. And then, but it will have the same 2.2 liter turbo diesel engine as the base variant. So that's about the diesel version of the Land Rover Discovery Sport.
okay, uh, which of these is personally your favorite?
I'd go with the Jeep Wrangler. I've not listed it though. It's not a luxury SUV, but I really like the Jeep Wrangler. It's going to be an icon which is coming into India. So I think it's one icon which I would look forward to see on Indian roads because the only other option we have is the Mahindra Thar in diesel. Okay.
Yeah, you're going to have a lot of cars being modified into Jeep Wranglers, like they already are.
We already have, Azad customization. Azad 4x4 is doing a lot of, Jeep Wrangler modifications. We have a lot of Thars. And in Kerala, there are many, Mahindra Thars which are actually posing like Jeep Wranglers. It's already happening, and once it comes in, Jeep Wrangler, Jeep would actually, people buying that would be confused. What are they? A similar looking car which is available for maybe 10, 15 lakhs cheaper. It's be a dilemma.
Exactly, exactly. Like people. like people here walk into the Triumph showroom, Triumph motorcycle showroom, and say like, "अरे ये तो नया बुलेट है, नया model bullet है, दो exhaust है इसमें." So in the same way, you're gonna have people looking at a Wrangler and saying like, "Oh, this is a new Thar."
Even for the Mini, so many people question Mini owners and ask them, where did you get the Swift modified to look like this? Something the owners, imagine the look on his face. He spent around 40, 45 lakhs to say the Mini dress. A guy with a Swift comes up and say, even I want, to modify my Swift like this. That's pretty funny, and it actually happens on Indian roads.
That's true. That's true. Okay, let's just take a few questions right now. Since we've got quite a few lined up this week, let's just take a few questions. So I'm just going to go to the questions. So today's question, the first one is just a sec. Let me just mute. I'm getting a lot of echo from. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So the first question I've got today is from Mohammed Waris, and he says, I need to decide between a Ritz ZXI, a Micra Active XVS, a Micra XL. Ritz will be a 2015 make costing 5.9 lakhs on road. Micra Active will cost about 5.42, and the Micra XL will be 5.4. These are of the 2014 make, so that's why he's getting some discount on them. And I've taken a test drive of the Ritz and Micra Active and found the Active to be underpowered. And also, he didn't find the ergonomics quite good in this car. His right leg was touching the door in the Active, he says. So, which of these, JP, would you recommend to him? Yeah, just a second.
Yeah. First of all, Mohammad Waris seems to be having issues with space, so I think he's looking for a more spacious car. In terms of that, I think the Ritz, it's got plenty of headroom and it's a tall boy, so moving in and moving out will be easier. Okay, and it will hold its value better, in the long term because it's a Maruti Suzuki. Okay, and he can negotiate good discounts on the Ritz, even better discounts I feel, because Ritz is not a fast-moving model, and you have huge discounts lined up. For example, there are the Ritz diesel is going up to their discounts are up to around 70, 80,000 rupees in the Ritz diesel also. Okay, in Stingray, yeah, another tall boy in the Maruti's lineup. The Stingray also has got around 60, 70,000 rupees discount because they're not fast moving. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, the Ritz, if you want a more spacious car, I think the Ritz will do. I mean, the front seats. But in the rear, I think, there's not a huge difference between the Ritz and the Micra in terms of space. Okay.
Mhm.
He's looking at a better after sales service, and he's looking at cheaper parts, and he's looking at ownership experience, which is which will deliver better peace of mind. Then I think it's the Maruti to go for. Otherwise, then he can obviously consider the Micra. Ease of driving, I think the Micra scores in the city. If you want a very easy car to drive, I think the Micra scores. But apart from that, I think the Ritz is a better bet overall. And in the
Yeah.
engine is a gem, the 1.2 liter K12 engine is a gem. And in the Micra, it gets a three-cylinder unit which has got its own thrum. After say 4,000 RPM, you get the thrum. When I drove the Datsun Go recently, I really felt it. And it's the same engine that's used in the Micra Active as well. It's a D2, the one HR12E. So I think the Ritz is a better option.
Right. Okay. So let's just. So even I would think go with the Ritz. I think among this list, the Ritz is the better option as well. Okay. Next question. Uh, yes, this guy says. Just a second. Sharing it. I'm Aman from Jamnagar, Gujarat. He has written in on email and on the Hangouts app. So I'm Aman Srivastava from Jamnagar, Gujarat. I've recommended this car to my dad. We are planning to get this car, but before that, I just wanted to ask: in the range of 15 to 16 lakhs, we would consider the XUV or go for any sedan in this range. My dad and I love the XUV. We need to upgrade from a hatchback to a big car. That's why I've recommended this car to him. So I just need a user review from your side in terms of ride quality, refinement, all the issues related to service of this vehicle. Is it worth buying an XUV as a long-term vehicle? So, JP, before I give my take on this, your take quickly on this.
Here, I think we would have. If Mandar was here, I think we would have had a proper user perspective because Mandar himself drives a XUV 500. In terms of refinement, etc., you really can't compare a XUV to a sedan, a D segment sedan, like say the Corolla or the the Volkswagen Jetta. So obviously we're not getting there. In terms of that kind of refinement, you won't get it. But in terms of versatility and in terms of go anywhere ability and in terms of better ground clearance, street presence, etc., the XUV scores. And I think it's the best built Mahindra that and which offers decent value also. So it's a good buy in terms of buying a proper crossover, an Indian crossover at that. But if he's looking for the refinement, a sedan level refinement, no, he won't get it. But apart from that, the XUV is actually a very nice buy at that price point. Actually, it's demolished all the sedans at that price. So
True,
that
true.
Indians are buying it because they see value in the product. So in terms of that, yes, it's a good buy. He can go for it. And in long term, yes, it's got its niggles, but I think now most of the niggles are sorted out. And you must remember that even Mahindra has got relationship managers who specially take care of XUV 500 customers because it's a premium product, it's a flagship vehicle for the brand. So in terms of all those things, I think the XUV is a good buy, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, just to add to what JP said, the XUV has actually been responsible for the decline of all the other sedans in the segment, from the Corolla, Altis, to the Cruise, and all of them, which were once selling quite well in the segment. Now you hardly have those cars selling more than 200, 300 units a month. So I think in that sense, between a sedan and an XUV, I would think the XUV offers a lot more flexibility in terms of value for money and features. Also, it's pretty good. And most of the niggles have been sorted out now, so I think it's a fairly decent buy. Okay, so let's go to the next question. JP, I'm having trouble with your video and audio. Can you just
I think my Google Hangout is saying it's okay. Give me a second. I'll get back. It says
no.
it says the Hangout says it's the pages are responsive. I'll open the page again.
Okay, right. Okay, so in the meantime, let's just go to the next question while we're waiting for JP to get back on. The next question is from Vishnu Gopal from Chennai, and this is an interesting one. He wants to modify his Verna. So he wants help to decide the perfect tuning box for his Hyundai Fluidic Verna 1.6 CRDI. He wants to get either a Race Dynamics Dieseltronic box. It has two variants: a single channel box and a dual channel box. He needs help in deciding between the two. Okay. Okay. JP, there are two of you on screen I can see, so I'm just gonna. I don't know which one of you is the.
Real Slim Shady. This is me.
Okay, I'm ejecting one of you. Okay, the one. Okay, now I can see. Right. Okay. So basically, he needs help with a tuning box, and there are two variants. One is a single channel box, and other is a dual channel box. Before I just get your take on it, I'm just going to tell people what a dual channel and a single channel box are. So I'm just muting your audio for a second. Yeah. So a single channel box takes only one input and modifies that one input to the ECU. In most cases, it's either the air mass flow sensors input, which then tells you how cold or how hot the air mass flow is going in, or it's the rail pressure in the common rail diesel rail. What the rail pressure is, it modifies that input and sends it to the ECU. So what that basically does then is that the ECU gets fooled into thinking that the rail pressure is too low, and then dump in more fuel, and which is why you get better pickup. Or same thing with the air mass flow, it says the air is too cold, so dump in more diesel to get make the engine warm up faster, and in the process it kind of delivers more power. So JP, any experience with tuning boxes? I mean, you got Pete's and you've got Race Dynamics and quite a few of these going around there, and Pune is also quite hot for these boxes there.
I had a Dieseltronics on my Figo for some time, and yes, I mean I was given a unit to test, okay, a few years ago, and yeah, it does really make a big difference in terms of the final power output, in terms of torque, in terms of drivability, and you tend to upshift earlier, so it actually enhances fuel efficiency, though it's squirting in more fuel because of the pulling the rail pressure sensors. It's actually it increases your fuel efficiency because you have more torque and you tend to upshift early. That's one thing. Second thing for a Verna, I think you should go for a VGT because you should go for a dual channel box because a variable geometry turbocharger. So here both the turbo boost as well as the rail pressure will be controlled by the box that Race Dynamics make. And yeah, this company is known to give very good customer service. If you have a box that actually shorts or something, they actually replace the box with one more. So in terms of the company, I think Race Dynamics is more affordable than say Peets or Spider, and you have many brands here with tuning boxes, and the cheapest is Race Chip, okay, which you get from Germany. But apart from that, in terms of pricing, I think Race Dynamics is good because you get service also. You get access to fitting. They have a lot of dealers who can actually fit it for you. Many other brands don't have that kind of capability, at least in smaller places. But Race Dynamics has a decent distributor setup. So in terms of that, yeah, it's a good buy. But of course, you should remember that he must remember that if he's going to push it very hard, there are chances, though the chances are very slim. There are chances that he might have premature injector failure. This has happened to a lot of guys, in India with the turbo diesel cars. They push their car to very hard after having a tuning box. Sometimes the injectors do fail. Basically, if the injector is already, not in great shape, this will accelerate, its failure chance or something like that.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
that's real. But if he's gonna keep a car only for say maybe 80,000, 1 lakh kilometers, then I think he can go for it because the diesel engine is built to last for more than that. So usually you'll still be playing within your safety margin.
Right. Right. Cool. So I think, yeah, I mean, tuning boxes are all very well, but I personally don't normally recommend tuning boxes because cars are built within tolerance levels, and if you're pushing it, then you're asking for trouble.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's just get to the car care section for today, and this one is the on car battery care. We start with a little video on how to jumpstart your car, which I'm just going to share with you right now. The common problem a lot of car owners face is a dead battery. You walk up to your car, press the remote, and nothing. What do you do then? How do you start your car? Let me show you. You'll first have to manually enter the car using the key. Once inside, a handy accessory to have is a pair of jumper cables. Jumper cables are available for about rupees 500 a pair, and they look like this. You get one red cable which is for the positive and one black for the negative, and they come with these crocodile clips which attach to your battery. Of course, the other thing that you'll need to jumpstart the car is a donor car with a healthy battery which can jumpstart your dead car's battery. First, line the car up with the dead car so that the fenders are very close to each other. Next, leave the engine running and open the hood of the donor car. Then open the hood of your car. Locate the battery, which is usually on the left-hand side of the car, and locate the positive and negative terminal. On the healthy car, first clip the red terminal to the positive terminal on the battery. Taking care not to touch any metal part on that car, take the other end of the crocodile clip and attach it to the terminal on the dead car, the positive terminal on the dead car. Next, clip the negative terminal for the black crocodile clip to the negative terminal of the healthy car's battery. Then attach the other end of the black negative terminal to a body bolt or a metal part on the dead car. You don't attach it to the negative terminal on the battery because at some time there can be a spark, and usually some batteries give off hydrogen gas which can get ignited. So attach it to any metal part that you find on the dead car. Did you see the spark? Ensure that the car is in neutral and that the healthy car is already running, the engine is already running. Then insert the ignition key and check if you've got power, and voila, we have power. Then crank the dead car and it should come to life. Leave the engine running from both the cars and start disconnecting the terminals in the reverse order, starting with the negative. So that's how you jumpstart a car. And once you've started it, leave it running for about 15 minutes, and it should charge the battery and give you adequate starting power to start it again next time you want to start the car. But keep a pair of jumper cables handy in your car at all times. These are available for around 500 rupees in any auto accessory shop, and it's a good thing to keep in your car at all times. Okay, yeah, this is something we did quite some time back, this video, and it's still very, very current today. Because in fact, we recently just got a whole bunch of queries about people with, dead batteries and what happened, and somebody had a problem where they incorrectly, put the jumper cables together, and there was sparks, and the car shorted. So that's why I thought it was prudent to kind of share this thing all over again. JB, any experience with the dead battery?
Yes, yes. I just had an experience 1 month ago when my Pigo's battery died. I saw it coming. As you said, we will discuss the warning signs later. But what I did was there's a very convenient way to actually replace your dead battery nowadays. Yeah, get jump starting a car. You need all the cables, so on and so forth. But if you're buying a new battery, I went to this website called batterybuy.com. Okay, it's called batterybuy.com. It's a because the website you just I got a new battery within 4 hours, and that's phenomenal. And the pricing of the battery is very good. If you go to a regular battery shop, they usually charge you maybe 200 300 rupees more than what Battery Buy charges. And the good thing about Battery Buy is they come to your house, or your parking lot. They install the new battery, they take your old battery, and they even give you a buyback. So these are nice things about the whole service. And actually had an opportunity of using the service maybe a month ago for my Figo, and it was a very nice experience that I had there. And coming to the warning signs, I experienced longer cranks. That is one thing, especially first start of the day, longer cranks. And the
Hmm.
other, uh, yeah, and the other major, issue when your battery is low is, the warning lights tend to stay for a longer duration, on for a longer duration than otherwise. So these are the two warning signs that I saw when my battery started going dead before my battery went dead.
Okay. Okay. The other thing, of course, is that the warning signs you will get is that your cranking will be a lot tougher. It'll sound as if the engine is straining and trying to start. You got a not the usual vigor that an engine starts with. Okay, excuse my mimicry of an engine is very bad. Of course. Other things you'll notice is that when the moment you switch your car off, and if you have like the interior lights on or maybe your park lamps on, they go dim pretty fast. So there'll be a huge difference between the when the car's running and when you switch off the car and the lights go dim, because a battery, a good healthy battery, should have a standing voltage of 12.8 volts. If you have a multimeter and you connect it to the battery, you should be able to see a standing voltage overnight of 12.8 volts from the battery, and it can come down to 12.4, 12.2, if you've been using like your music system and stuff. The moment you start your car, the battery voltage will jump to about 14.1, 13.9 to 14.1 volts. That's when your alternator is charging the battery. Now, I recently had experience with the other extreme, where the alternator went wonky and began to overcharge the battery. And the first signs I saw there were my headlights blew. I mean, I was driving back home, and suddenly I already have 100-watt headlamps, and they became like so bright, and then boom, darkness all of a sudden. Then the instrument panel lights became bright, everything became bright. So I just quickly switched the car off and opened the bonnet, and the battery had gone wonky because it was boiling over. The acid and water was boiling, and when I took the multimeter out and put it on the battery and cranked the car and checked the charging voltage, it was 17.8 volts, 18 volts. So that obviously blew the whole thing. I mean, I was fortunate not to get any other systems, corrupted by that overcharging alternator. And the only solution there is to get your alternator changed. Either you get the rectifier changed, which is usually the first step, which is only about 600 odd bucks, but otherwise you're looking at a new alternator, which is what I finally had to do, which cost about 8,500 rupees. It can go from 8,500 for a car like a Scorpio, a Lucas TVS alternator all the way up to about 15,000 for a Bosch alternator. So you better watch out for those warning signs of overcharging as well. And JP, what I mean, how long has your car battery lasted you?
It lasted me for around 4 years. So basically, it was on its last legs, and I did around 65,000 kilometers on one battery, which I think is decent life, for the kind of frequent start stops we do in, in urban traffic scenarios. Since mine is a hatchback, I've used quite a lot of it in, city traffic. So there are plenty of braking and and I always play the music system, and usually the air conditioner, the blower is on even after the car is switched off for a while. So based on that, I
Yeah.
think reasonable life that my stock battery came, and now I installed an Amaron battery because that was the most economical solution. And since my car is close to 5 years old, and I'm thinking of replacing it, I was thinking, okay, let me not spend too much money on the new battery. So I bought myself a Amaron, and it was very reasonable. And battery buy service was absolutely top notch. So I would recommend battery buy to people who actually stand with the car that's not starting.
Uh, yeah. Yeah, I know, and yeah, Amaron batteries. I've also tried it. My second battery was an Amaron battery, which I tried. That lasted 3.5 years. The first one was an Exide, which barely lasted 3 years, and now I'm back to an Exide, heavy duty battery, which is it's just about 2 years old, but the thing has been boiled over like crazy. I don't know if it's going to last another year or so because of the bad alternator. And yeah, I guess so. Pretty much that's the scene now with batteries. Car batteries, you can expect them to last only about 4 years. I think 4 years is like a good life that you get. And most batteries come with a warranty of 2 years and 1 year replacement, 2 year replacement warranty, and 1 year they will charge you with and also replace the battery. So on that note, I think that brings us to the end of this weekend with CarToq. And if you want to take part in this weekend with CarToq, do send us a note. You can log into cartoq.com. On the top left hand corner, you will find Weekends with CarToq. Click on that, fill in your details, and we will get back to you with the time and when we're going to discuss your questions. And if you have, you think you can take part in one of the discussions, please do let us know over there, and we will invite you to be a part of this discussion. And as always, keep tuning into CarToq for the latest news. JP will bring it to you all through the week, and he's also going on a drive this week for a car which we cannot name because there's an embargo on it. But we'll have that report out as soon as he's back. So, on that note, bye guys, bye everyone, bye JP.